doesn't love Bluey? Well, there are still a lot of people who don't know the little blue dog yet. But she's been taking over the world super quickly in recent years, and the next step for the healers is what's going to make sure the rest of the world knows who they are. Because Bluey is getting a movie for the big screen.
Hey!
Yes, that's exactly what you just heard. It was recently announced that Bluey is getting an animated movie, and it's set to hit theaters worldwide in 2027. Did you ever think this could happen? Just imagine how awesome it'll be to see Bluey in theaters. I can already picture the reaction clips flooding the internet. So many laughs and so many tears because, as we've seen with the episode The Sign, they know how to tug at the audience's heartstrings. And it's precisely because The Sign exists that I'm not surprised by the idea of Bluey getting a movie. Normally, episodes are only 7 minutes long, but The Sign is almost half an hour, and it worked out amazingly. Honestly, with the show's popularity alone, a movie seemed inevitable at some point, and dipping their toes into the waters of a longer script definitely influenced this decision. But okay, what did they actually say about the movie? How was it announced? And what about the 4th season of Bluey? Grab your popcorn and your cold soda, because we're about to answer those and other questions about Bluey right now, here on Zigzag. My first question when I started imagining how a Bluey movie would work was whether the animation style would stay the same and whether Ludo Studios would still be in charge of the whole project. Since companies like Disney and the BBC would need to be involved to fund a project like this, it seemed reasonable to expect another animation studio to take over, which, to me, would be worrying since the heart of Bluey is so tightly connected to Ludo Studios. But don't worry, because this project is staying entirely in-house. Joe Brum, the creator of Bluey, wrote the script and will direct the movie, just like he's written every single episode of the series so far. The producer is someone from outside, but she's amazing at what she does. Amber Naismith, who was behind Happy Feet, the Lego Movie, and the Lego Batman movie. And here's where the difference we were expecting for a project like this comes in. Having a producer with that kind of experience in other films, the Bluey movie won't have the same animation style as the series because it's going to be fully done in CGI. That means it'll be a 3D animation, similar to the other movies Amber has worked on. Dude, Bluey in 3D! Can you even imagine how that's going to look? I can't yet, but I know one thing you can do. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell in just 3 seconds. If you manage to do it, write "I did it" in the comments, and we'll give you a shout out and like your comment. With such an important announcement like this, I quickly went to find out what all the key people involved had to say, because I knew I needed to bring you the news in the most complete way possible. That, and also, because I was so excited, I wanted to know more and more. The co-founders and directors of Ludo Studios, Daley Pearson and Charlie Aspinwall, had the following to say. Over the past 8 years, we've had the privilege of working alongside an extraordinary team of more than 50 artists and producers whose talent, dedication, and creativity have shaped Bluey into the beloved series it is today. Their work has paved the way for this incredible opportunity to expand Bluey's world onto the big screen. We're excited to continue showing Queensland as a home for world-class talent and to share a new, beautiful Bluey story by Joe Brum with families around the world. Hey, it's so cool to see that the studio directors are excited. That's always a good sign that something great is coming, because if the people involved aren't excited, there's no way the final product will be awesome, since it wouldn't have been made with care or enjoyment, right? But now that they've had their say, it's time to hear from the man responsible for it all, Bluey's creator, Joe Brum. On the opportunity to make the movie, he had the following to say in the same article published by the BBC and on Bluey's official website. Quote, I really enjoyed the experience of working with a longer format on The Sign in Series 3. So going even further with a feature film feels like a natural extension of that. I've always thought Bluey deserved a theatrical movie. I want this to be an experiential event for the whole family to enjoy together. I'm excited to continue to partner with Cecilia Person, Tom Fussell, and the team at BBC Studios, as well as Dana Walden, Alan Bergman, and Disney to bring this new Bluey story to the big screen. See? Didn't I say that the sign had an influence on the decision to make a movie? It seems like a perfectly natural thing to do. Try something a little bigger and more complex, with more characters, to see if something even larger is possible. And we all felt how well it worked, didn't we? Joe got the answer he wanted when more than 2 million Australians stopped everything to watch the episode premiere as soon as it aired. But not everything is good news, as Joe Brum wrote a personal letter about his vision for the future of the series and how he came up with the movie script idea. This letter outlines the situation for the 4th and 5th seasons and the new minisodes that had been announced earlier this year. In a separate post on Bluey's official website, Joe shared the following. I'm writing this to share some Bluey news. Some good, some difficult. Let's start with the good. After some time away from the series, working on another project, an old idea resurfaced, and before I knew it, I had written a Bluey feature film script that I really love. Fast forward through a ton of contracting, and we're about to embark on producing an animated Bluey movie. Now, for the difficult part. I've always said I wouldn't keep making the show if I thought I couldn't make any new season as good as the last. This would be the case for me with a potential 4th season. So, I've decided to take a break from my involvement in the TV series. In the event I can't find my way back to making more seasons, the sign will be my TV finale for Bluey. And I wrote that episode with that in mind. Bluey has completely changed my life. Being part of this has been an immensely satisfying experience, more than I can truly express in words. Walking away while the series is at such a height might seem crazy to some. But for now, I'm finding it difficult to genuinely return to that 4 to 6 year old world and write authentically. My Bluey crew and all the creative people in my life completely understand my decision. Working with this wonderful group of people has been the highlight of my animation career. And I hope having Bluey on their resumes is a badge of pride for them. To be clear, this is not an announcement about the end of the show, but rather an acknowledgement that my focus will be on the movie. Thank you for welcoming this show into your homes. The entire experience has been impossible to describe. I'm so relieved he clarified this wasn't an announcement about the end of the show because my heart dropped when I first read it. But let's keep going. There's still more to talk about. Before that, have you ever thought about chatting about Bluey with more fans like yourself? If you're over 13, join our Discord community. As we saw earlier this year, they released a roadmap with future plans that include new minisodes, as well as episodes for the 4th and 5th seasons. And as Bluey's creator himself said, he's not announcing the cancellation of the series, only that he needs to get his head in the right place to mentally prepare himself to write about 4 to 6 year olds again. As a writer, I understand how difficult it is to think creatively about something when you no longer feel the same connection to it as before. Often, taking a break and focusing on something else is what helps us come back stronger and maintain the quality that has won over fans for so long. And it's easy to understand Joe's perspective because, if you think about it, it's not just our experience as an audience at stake. Of course, we'll always want more, but the moment the show starts to decline, we'll stop watching and might even complain about it online. You know how people can be. Joe is aware of this too, which is why he needs to give his best as a writer. Because everything always starts with the script. When the script leaves his hands and moves on to the next stage, like the storyboard you see on the screen now, the script must be flawless, because the work of everyone else who will handle it later depends on that foundation. All the illustrators, animators, editors, and actors working on the series need Joe to do an excellent initial job so they can successfully execute their parts as well. When you think about it this way, it's easier to understand why he needs to go on this journey to get back to writing new seasons, right? Count on us here on the channel to always help you see things from the artist's perspective. And let's hope making this movie is the rediscovery Joe Brum needs.